Refer to time, fuel, and distance to climb for your distance and fuel burn for climb out. To reach cruising altitude of 5,500 feet, our indicated airspeed should be 75 knots. We see 2 gallons of fuel being used in about 12 nautical miles. Use your Cessna 172 information manual to find your calibrated airspeed for climb and cruising altitude, and write these down on your navigation log. On your course, locate the isogonic line on your VFR sectional. Here we see 2 degrees east. This -2 degree variation will give you your magnetic heading. Starting with our true course of 125 degrees, we used our weather information to find our wind correction angle of -1, giving us a true heading of 124 degrees. Subtracting the isogonic line variation of -2 gives us a magnetic heading of 122 degrees. Your magnetic compass in your airplane may have deviations because of equipment used in your aircraft. Put down a ± to refer to your magnetic compass and write down your compass heading of 122 degrees. Now we can use our weather information and our distances to find our ground speed. Use your flight computer to find out your ground speed at cruising altitude. Type in your true course, your true airspeed of 118 knots, wind direction, and wind speed. This will give you a ground speed of 109 knots. Use your flight computer to find out your climb out ground speed. Type in your true course, true airspeed, wind direction, and wind speed to get a ground speed of 66 knots. Use a highlighter to highlight the boxes below to indicate your actual ground speed during flight. Now we will find the duration of each leg by entering the distance and ground speed to find our time. Write this down in the estimate time and route box and highlight the actual time and route for calculations during flight. Continue to find the duration of each leg by entering the distance in nautical miles and ground speed in your flight computer. Write this down on your navigation log, and then highlight the actual time and route box for calculations during flight. Enter in your flight computer the distance and ground speed for each leg to find the duration. Write this down on your navigation log. Once you have calculated each leg by using the distance and ground speed, then add each leg duration to find your total flight time. Write this down at the bottom of your navigation log. In the estimate time arrival box, subtract each leg from the total flight time to find your ETA from each checkpoint. Now highlight the actual time of arrival box for in-flight calculations. In the altitude column, find our top of climb by using the Cessna 172 information manual. Our cruising altitude is 5,500 feet. This will give us about 12 nautical miles to reach our top of climb. Now we must find our top of descent by using this equation. Use your cruising altitude minus our descent altitude divided by the descent rate times ground speed divided by 60. This will come out to be 13 nautical miles. Write this down as our top of descent. If we start our descent at Harbor Airport checkpoint, we will be at pattern altitude 3 miles before our destination airport. Now we must find how much fuel we will use for each leg. For our climb out, we see that to reach 5,500 feet, we will burn 2 gallons of fuel. Use your flight computer to find the fuel burn for each leg. Enter the duration and the rate to find the amount of fuel being burned for each leg. Write this down on your navigation log. Once you have calculated the fuel being burned for each leg, add them to find the total estimate fuel needed for the flight. Write this down at the bottom of your navigation log. In the Cessna 172 information manual, we find 53 gallons of usable fuel. For engine start and taxi, we will use 1.1 gallons. At the top of your navigation log, subtract 1.1 from 53 gallons of usable fuel. When we take off, we will have 51.9 gallons of fuel. We will burn 6.9 gallons of fuel for the duration of our flight. When we land at our destination, we will have 45 gallons of fuel. To know how much fuel in minutes is remaining at your destination, estimate a fuel burn per hour of 10 gallons. Then calculate the remaining fuel divided by 10. This gives you 4.5 hours of fuel remaining. This is very important to know for school policy of 45 minutes and more importantly by FAA regulations for fuel minimums upon landing. To complete the fuel column, take the amount of fuel at takeoff, 51.9 gallons, and subtract each leg until you reach your destination. The remaining fuel at the destination is 45 gallons, or 4.5 hours of fuel. On the back of your navigation log, write down alternate airports along your course. This is in case of weather emergencies or in-flight emergencies, such as engine failure. Write down information of alternate airports like field elevation, CTAFs, runways, and runway lengths. You have successfully completed a nav log. I recommend that you fold your navigation log and put it on your knee board with all of your required items.